Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's finally here, the tadpole update that you've been waiting for. It's been 2 months since I posted the first video of me getting the tadpoles, opening them up and stuff. This clip here is from the first video. This was filmed on December 6th, 2023. The video is basically just a little compilation of all the clips I've filmed of them throughout the past 2 months of them growing and eventually turning into frogs, which you'll see. So I thought I would just show you guys what that was like. Definitely watch the first video of the tadpoles first though, so you understand the whole gist. But I did start with keeping them in a container like this because they were so tiny that it was too hard to like just put them in the tank because I would just not see them. But I did have to change the water every day to keep it nice and clean for them because tadpoles can easily get like infections and stuff, so I didn't want that to happen, and it didn't happen, so that's good. This is when I realized that they were starting to get a bit too big for this container, and there were still a couple of like small ones. They definitely were different ages, but look at them in the sun, they look so beautiful. Definitely getting too big for this container, so that's when I decided to move them into the tank. This is the current setup for while they're still tadpoles. So I'm gonna put the piece of spinach in there because that's fresh. Be ready for them to be released. So it took a few weeks for them to get to this size to where I felt comfortable putting them in the tank. And look at them in the tank. Finally they have much more swimming room, and now they have filtration so I don't have to change the water every day, but I still did like partial water changes at least every week. So I mostly fed them this like fish food, like tropical fish food. That's what they ate most of the time, but sometimes I would put like vegetables in there like spinach and broccoli and cucumber, but they honestly didn't eat much of it. They mostly just wanted the fish food. I put a bunch of duckweed in here that was also full of live bloodworms so they could have some live food, which they definitely really enjoyed, but it also made the tank quite dirty because it was like pond water, but it was full of these like little tiny like, you know, things they could eat and stuff, so they seemed to really like that. And also they could eat the duckweed too. This one was so tiny, even the bloodworms were bigger than it. You can see in this clip, some of them are starting to get little tiny back legs poking out. They definitely grew at different paces, so they were definitely mixed ages. But you can see the legs growing, like look how long they are on this one. I love watching the legs grow and it's so cool. Look how fat they're getting. They look so chunky. The size difference between these two is kind of crazy, and I think it's just because they were different ages. I don't think it was a health issue. They start getting super fat at this age before their legs pop out. Their stomachs just look so big. They were also pretty much non-stop eating at this stage. I would feed them multiple times a day and they would just suck it down so fast. You can also see the weird shape of that big one in the middle because its legs are like ready to come out. And then suddenly I found this one a few days later, so I don't even know where this one came from. I didn't notice the arms already came out. Like, what happened? I guess this one was just older than the rest and I didn't notice it. Because at this stage, the rest of them still just had their legs popping out. And that one already had his arms out. They look so silly when their big long legs are hanging out. I love it. And then we find a little froglet. Look how cute they look. They still have a little tail hanging out. They look so colorful. Oh, I love it. At this stage, they don't eat anything because they're absorbing their tail. So they can look kind of skinny at first, but then once they have fully absorbed their tail, they get kind of chunky again. And then after that, they will start eating, you know, like insects and mealworms and flies and all that. See, look how chunky they look just after absorbing their tail. I couldn't believe it. Look how beautiful they are. Oh, they're just climbing over my finger. So precious. I can't believe how colorful they are. Their colors do change So some may be more colorful than others, sometimes they may look super dark, sometimes it might be bright green like now. Their colors do change. And at this stage, the rest of them was still just tadpoles with their long legs. You can hear my chicken in the background of this video. You can kind of see like when their arms are ready to pop out. It's actually really weird how their arms, because they don't just like slowly develop like their legs do, they just literally pop out like fully grown. It's really weird. You can see this one, you can see the sides of it, it's like elbows sticking out. They like develop their arms under their skin and then they just pop out when they're ready. It's very interesting. I didn't realize that until I watched them, you know, do it. You can see this one has one arm out and the other one wasn't out yet. Isn't that so funky? I guess it's things you wouldn't really think of until you watch it happen, you know? If you're unaware, these are green and golden bell frogs. They are an Australian species of frog, but we also have them in New Zealand, which is where I live. Oh, here is when they ate their first mealworm, the first frog. It was a little bit big, but they did swallow it. It was probably just a bit big though, because they're still only eating small foods. Here is one of my fully grown frogs, if you want to see the difference. They're very lazy. Yeah, trying to catch this fly was kind of embarrassing to watch. I don't think she, I think, wanted to move from her spot. Look, this one's wagging its tail. Isn't it so cute? Oh my god. They look so funny in this stage. Like, what even are you? And look, I came in and see this! A froglet with a long tail just sitting on like the highest point of the tank. Look at them. They're the boss, I think. Their tail looks kind of wonky here, but I don't think they had any issues absorbing it. Their faces also look so different at this stage, because they don't look super frog-like yet. And then this was that same frog a few days later, with their tail more absorbed. Still not totally looking like a frog though. And look at them all. Oh, look at them all, they look so like funny. Their big long legs. And you can see some of them still barely even have their back legs. They're all very different ages. And then we find another one pops out. This one came out super green, but look at that tail. They're all really starting to come out into froglets at this stage. Here is the last one, and then the oldest one here. So beautiful. Most of them have, you know, most of their limbs now, but some of them still don't have any or just have very small legs. So yeah, that is the frog update that you guys have been waiting for. They're all doing super well. Oh, I will say though, I did find one of them passed away, unfortunately. I found them passed away as a froglet form, so they still had their tail, but they were like almost a frog. So that really sucks. I do expect it to happen, because that is kind of part of it. Unfortunately, they don't all make it to being a frog. A lot of them do pass away during the stage of turning into a frog, which always sucks seeing it. It's definitely the hard part of like raising any kind of animal. The rest of them seem to be fine, and yeah, they're doing super well. I will probably do another video in the future because they are obviously, once they're all frogs, their enclosure is going to be changed around a bit. There's going to be more land than there is water. Like there's still a lot of water at the moment because some of them are still like tadpoles, but once they're all frogs I will be changing their enclosure, so that might also be a video. And then eventually, once they're big enough, they can go in with my adult frogs, but they're still way too small for that. They will definitely become food. So thank you guys for watching this video. Thanks for being patient for it if you were waiting for it. And yeah, feel free to follow me on like Instagram and stuff if you want to see more updates, because I'll definitely be posting more on there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!